leaving the gym. Got in a good little incline walk today. And so I have this random idea, this random thing I wanted to talk about. I don't even know how to really put it into words, so I'm probably just gonna word vomit for a minute until I get into a flow. But I have this struggle with feeling like an island. So my entire life, I feel like I've existed on the fringe of everything. So any group, any association, any sect, anything, I've existed on the fringe of it. So, for example, I grew up like a major tomboy. So I'm a girl, I have all my girlfriends, but like my best friends when I was little were boys. And then I would go to like, you know, a church group or something, and I was buddies with the boys. And so if I would try to go be with the girls, I kind of just existed on the fringe of like the girly pops and was never fully accepted by the girls, or was rejected entirely. Was made fun of, was jealous of, you know, because I think girls get jealous of girls who are in the boy club, right? When I was in junior high, I was severely bullied. Like, I know that seems weird now, but I had moved states. I was the new girl. I grew up in California. I'd moved to Utah, and like my 9th grade year was hell. I mean, the girls and the boys were like so mean to me. There was like the movies where you eat lunch alone, like that was me in 9th grade. And I kept existing on this fringe, right? Of like my soul, my instinct is to want to be with the boys, and I'm like such a tomboy. Loved all the boyish stuff, but deep inside, like, I'm just a girl, right? Like, I just want my nails done. I just want to do my hair and like wear heels every now and then. But like, I grew up on a dirt bike and horses and 4-wheelers, and I collected Hot Wheels, and I liked Ninja Turtles, you know, like that was my jam. So I don't know, I've like never really existed like fully in the girl sphere. And do any of you guys know who Jessie Combs is? Jessie Combs, she broke the land record in a rocket car. She has a Netflix documentary called The Fastest Woman on Earth. When I listened to her describe herself, like, she's just so cute and blonde and petite, but she was like an auto body shop, and she would build her Jeep like from the ground up, and I just like felt so connected to her. Like, that's how I feel, I guess. But it's left me like on the fringe of both communities. Like, I've never been fully one of the girls or accepted. And then I feel like in a lot of my passions or my drives, like the hobbies or the side quests that I want to go on, like I'm never fully what that person, that box wants me to look like. So I'm an artist, okay? So let me go on a tangent for a second. So I am a painter. I have a publishing contract with a Christian publishing company. I paint Christian art, but I also paint all kinds of art. So like, this is a huge one where I feel like I'm on the fringe, because, oh my gosh, for so many reasons. And in no particular order, but like, I exist on the fringe of being a Christian anyways, because I'm just on the fringe of like what a box Christian looks like, right? I am not your crunchy Mormon wife. I'm a little irreverent, you know, like I will drop a swear word now and then. I like my gym playlist is between me and God. But like I'm one of the most devoted Christian people I know. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I mean, I very rarely even toot my own horn, because in the non-Christian community, I'm also on the fringe, right, of like that, because I'm so diehard that they like put me on the fringe, because they're like, wow, she's like really Jesus, right? Like, I go to church every Sunday. I used to work in my temple. I worked in the temple for a period of time. I was there 5 hours every Thursday, working in the temple. I don't work in the temple right now, but I go every Thursday. So I go every single Thursday morning to my temple. I'm like a really versed scriptorian. I consume a lot of content that is religious. So that's a part of my study and my worship. And then I believe in serving. Like, I honestly believe that's where we miss the mark as most Christians. Is like kind of the foundation of our gospel is to serve others. It's not to be hoity-toity about like, oh, look at me, like, look at all these boxes I checked. But if you're not actually going out and serving and like feeding Jesus's lambs, you know, as he said, feed my lambs, like, I feel like we're missing the mark. So I make that my priority, right? Service. I do all these things, and I'm very Jesus-y, okay? But there's this side of me, and there's a side of me that's like wild, and I don't even think it's bad. I don't think it's rebellious. It's just a little untamed, and I gotta let her be free, almost like a wild stallion. You know, there's nothing wrong with a wild horse. She's not bad. She just needs to sprint. Like, let her run free. Let her hair run free. Don't put a saddle on her. Don't put a bridle on her. And so I think in the Christian world, I'm just on the fringe, right? Like, I make really uppity Christian people really uncomfortable. And recently with my bodybuilding stuff, when I've kind of come open with it, because it's not like it's never been there, but now I'm open about it in public, and I've posted stuff on my Facebook. Like, you'd be surprised how many people instantly treated me differently. Instantly. It wasn't like they were proud, they wanted to be supportive. You know, I lived just a little bit of a different lifestyle. They were like, oh, that's wrong. Which, there is no foundational gospel reason why it's wrong. Okay, that's just a made up thing. And in their little closed-minded view of like, well, she's wearing a revealing swimsuit on stage. Well, there's also no doctrine like about swimsuits. And I think that, you know, throwing it under the umbrella of immodesty is a little extreme, because modesty is a lifestyle, right? A lifestyle choice. And I'm a very modest person in my lifestyle. I just happen to wear a swimsuit that you don't like on stage, because that's the criteria and the wardrobe that you wear when you're judged as a bodybuilder. Anyways, I feel like I don't need to make excuses and defend myself, but then there's times where I do, because they're literally like, it was instant. Some people just like instantly started treating me differently. And that kind of hurts, because it lets you know where people's hearts are at, that they care more about you living like them and in their box than letting you shine and following something you're passionate about. Obviously, I understand that like some people think swearing is offensive. I try really hard to watch my tongue around people, you know, or children, but there is a side of me that's just a little irreverent. And again, I shouldn't have to defend myself, but there's nothing really doctrinally or like foundational in our scriptures that talk about like swearing being this crazy sin. It's more like vulgarity and immorality are wrong, right? So if you're not vulgar or immoral with your language or degrading, and you drop a swear word here or there, like, I really don't think it's the end all be all, right? And some people just think it's like the most offensive, abrasive sin. And I think that's indoctrination. I think anyways, I think you get where I'm going with this. Like, I'm just not your cookie cutter box Christian LDS person. And so I'm on the fringe of Christians, right? Like, the LDS people put me on this fringe of like, she's a little wild, you know, inappropriate. And I'm over here like, I'm probably one of the most devoted Christians I know, but I don't fit your cookie cutter, you know, check the boxes, look great on Sundays, but you like missing all the other marks of what it means to follow Jesus. So in my art world, I am on the fringe of both sides. So I'm on the fringe of Christian art publishing, because I think they even see me as a little raucous sometimes. And like, I mean, I'm happy, I'm confident, I will smile and look cute, and then that confidence as a woman comes across as like, like, why is that taboo? I don't know. They want you to be like totally submissive and like meek and demure, and like if you happen to smile or even look cute whatsoever, they're like, oh my gosh, she's being sexually provocative. It's like, Not a single thing I did was sexual. Not a single thing, or provocative. People can't control their own thoughts, and if you elicit anything, like if they can't control something whatsoever, they're gonna blame you, right? So if you just look pretty and look cute or look confident, you know, they're gonna blame you and say she was sexual, where instead of it was just their feelings and their thoughts they had. I cannot just exist as like a pretty person. I can't exist without it ruffling some feather and somebody blaming me. Which is really hard because I want to be like a happy, confident, beautiful woman. Like I want that so bad for me. I want to be empowered and I want that to be okay. And for some reason, in this hoity-toity culture, they still don't want women to be that way. Still. Like you're put in a box. Women cannot be confident in their skin. They can't even feel good about it and work hard for it and then show it. Like, nah, it's not allowed yet. I'm trying to break that mold, but every time I try to break a mold, I'm shunned by like that group, right? So I'm on the fringe of like that Christian art group where the art girls or boys, whatever, you know, they see me as this like a little bit of a rowdy Christian artist. And then and like on the other side, so like if I paint something that's not Christian, right, which I do a lot. I do landscapes, I do watercolors. It's like I feel like there's this vibe, this underlying like unspoken thing of like, oh, well, you sold out because now you're just trying to make money instead of just paint for Jesus. And it's like, well, whoa. Like I'm trying to make a living. Like people got to make a living. You know, think about singers who sing gospel music. Like they're going to charge for their music. They put hard work into that, and you should be paying 99 cents on iTunes for their song. They didn't sell out. You know, they're not like the devil after money and worshiping money because they're trying to make a living. So like, I'm trying to make a living with my art, which means I'm going to sometimes paint things that I want to paint or that make me happy or whatever, and then I'm going to try to sell it. It doesn't mean I don't love my Christian stuff or that I'm like not a Christian person. I just want to make a living, right? But also in the non-Christian world, like if you paint something that's too Jesus-y, like they're not going to accept it to a gallery exposition because it's too religious. So it's like, I feel like I can never just exist in one sphere. I'm just always on the fringe, right, of both of those places. And as I've kind of become more exuberant with my bodybuilding and a little more public about it, I just don't know where I don't know where I stand in the culture, and like I want to fit in so bad. I want to do right by me, which means like I'm Team Jesus, like #1 fan over here, and I am very dedicated to my religious beliefs, and I can separate what's like a cultural belief from a religious doctrine. And so I think I'm doing a pretty dang good job, but I feel like I'm just always going to be on the fringe. I feel like I will always be on the fringe of you know, non-religious people, and I don't want them to think that I would judge them or whatever. It's just the way I don't want them to judge me and think I'm like a zealot or whatever. And I feel like that, you know, my Latter-day Saint community is going to be really ostracizing me over this when there's just like a huge number of people who already don't see their own behaviors as like maybe less than Christian. You know, they just want to hyper focus on other people's. I don't know, it's just really weird. It's really hard to feel like you're just never in one box. And I don't want to be in one box, but I don't like that me not fitting into any mold, like just being whole me. Like if I want to be everything that I am without cutting off a single part of me, I just want to be all the things that I am and that I love, and then fit somewhere. I mean, it feels like I never will, but like if that was the case, if I could just be all of me, I would be like, I'm a diehard Team Jesus. I'm a faithful Latter-day Saint. I absolutely love fitness and am now getting much more into the competitive side of bodybuilding. I take it seriously. I'm an artist and I take that seriously. And because I happen to be confident and happy with myself and proud of how I look and feel good in my skin, and I'm not afraid to do it, like smile on a camera or wear a cute outfit and, you know, strike a pose or wear a beautiful dress at an event and post a picture about it. Like, I want to be able to be that without being shunned or without being called a name or without being treated like I'm just so vain or I don't know. It's just hard to feel like you're on the fringe, like never gonna be in one box. And I don't like that people will be so close-minded about something and also not be able to be accountable for their own thoughts and feelings, you know? Like, maybe we need to remember what's like a cultural norm, what's been pushed culturally, and separate it from what really, really is like actually a religious doctrine or a true, like, here's what you should actually be following and doing and growing closer to Jesus Christ and why he's our example, how he lived and how we should live. You know, not get so hung up on a 4-letter word or not get so hung up on somebody who's competing in a sport or whatever. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's probably super random and jumbled. I don't know if it makes any sense, but I am also curious if that resonates with anybody. So, I mean, be nice, but let me know.